Hello. How you doing? Raise your hand if you've taught your own class as a standalone instructor before. I'm just curious. So you pretty much know everything I'm going to tell you, so you just go ahead and leave now. How long have y'all been here? What time did you get here? 8 a.m. I just got here. What time y'all leaving? After me, after I'm done? I get to be here for like 15 minutes. I'm all happy and excited. You guys are like... All right, so my name is Darrin Griffin. I teach in communication studies. I teach a graduate course on instructional communication. I do research on instructional communication. But my true expertise is on lying and deception, so I can tell if you're into it or not. Is that an orange? Yeah. Rice Krispie treat? You're into it, though. I like those, too. Okay, this is the one thing I want you to remember for the rest of your life or the rest of your graduate career. Information is not communication. You've probably experienced that today. Like you're getting a lot of information thrown at you. Sharing information, giving people information, that does not change their behaviors, their emotions, their sentiments, opinions, all those different things that it could change. It's not a guaranteed. So remembering this is going to help you as a teacher that when you're giving information to people, you're trying to teach them that information, you're not actually communicating with them. Your goal is to communicate with people. I don't have enough time. I'm not going to bore you with the definition of communication and information science and all that type of stuff. But just generally, someone want to throw out a definition of information. Just throw something out. Facts. Okay, so information is facts. We want people to know facts, to be educated. What is communication? Someone else. Communication's data. I'm going to do information on that one, but there is data in communication, but it goes further than information. The message by which you relate that data and communication happens between two people, and we could kind of build this definition. So that's the difference here, is transferring information versus kind of interacting and information flowing both ways. And as an instructor, that's what you probably want to achieve is communication, not data and information just being inserted into someone's head like a magic bullet. That's a really bad analogy. Okay, discuss with a neighbor next to you, someone who's in here next to you. I want you to discuss Pokemon Go for 30 seconds or a minute. Go. Communicate. Is this going to work if I walk around? Yeah. Will this work if I walk around?
I think so,
yeah. Yeah. Let's try. Let's try. Where's the mic? Yeah.
On.
Okay.
On.
Awesome. All right. I can tell you're excited. That's awesome. All right. Someone raise their hand and make me run to you and see if I trip. Raise your hand if you want to share what y'all talked about for 30 seconds because you were talking about something. I'm going to get you up in this mic. All right, what's your name?
Jake.
What department?
Mechanical engineering.
What are you teaching?
ME360.
Mechanical engineering. You're going to be teaching undergrads mechanical engineering. How much discussion happens in mechanical engineering? Here, you just hold it.
In the labs, a decent amount.
Awesome. So these are good skills, right? Getting engineering students to talk about what they're doing. Okay, what did you talk about with your partner?
We talked about how Pokemon Go ended up on the UA newsletter.
Yes.
UA newsletter. About what were they? What was it about?
Warning people not to play it blindly while driving, while walking across crosswalks, things like that.
That's awesome. Okay. Who else? Anyone else talk about Pokemon? Will you pass this back so I don't have to run? There you go. What'd you talk about?
We talked about how he drove his friends around while they were drunk, and they caught Pokemon.
So when you're playing it, driving around, do you have to jump out of the car and then like go attack a Pokemon or something? And then you just like, you ought to have to get out of your car. You don't, but you ought to have to, you know what I mean? Or at least roll down the window and like hang out the window with a net or something. I know nothing about Pokemon Go, so this is kind of selfish to me. I wanted to like know more. Pass it back. All right, someone else. One more. Pokemon Go. Way over there. Oh my gosh. This better be good. Better be really good. Okay, what did y'all talk about?
Well, I just said that I just accidentally texted a professional contact, y'all better not be out playing Pokemon Go, right after asking them how long I could wait to expect an answer on something. So now they...
What was their response?
Nothing yet, and hopefully I'll actually get the real response I want.
But you haven't acknowledged that you made the mistake yet. You're just
Oh,
waiting?
no, I did. I just said, I'm so sorry. That was for my brother, not you.
Yeah. It's for a job you're trying to get.
No, it's for permissions I need for a research project for
you're good.
for photographs.
Yeah, they got a sense of humor.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
That's awesome. That's really good. I like it. Someone said roll tide. Is there like a Pokemon elephant or anything? Like anything resembles that? No. Raise your hand if you're like, I got to know if you play Pokemon. Raise your hand. I don't. Okay. So not more than 50%. I'm glad that like the whole world hasn't been taken over yet. Okay. So new topic, Olympic drama. Go. New person. New person. Olympic drama. I just made this up. Is there such... Okay, I'll do this side, yeah. What was your name? Is it Jenny? What's your name again?
Lisa.
Lisa. All right, I know you can talk about this all day. I can tell you're excited. I'm excited. Lisa's on this side to help me so I don't have to run over there. On that side of the room, who wants to get the mic just for fun? See how your voice sounds. Lots of people.
Okay. Hello.
Peyton. Hey, Peyton.
Hey, Darren.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. Okay, so we talked about Lily King, who just won the gold medal in swimming, is from my hometown and went to my rival high school, and we were talking about the wagon finger, but it's kind of cool because she's from my hometown, so good conversation.
I like it. One more over there, why not?
So we talked about how, yet again, Gabby Douglas is getting complained about her hair when she's clearly a strong athlete and is doing things like flipping on a 4-inch beam, and yet everyone is very concerned about her hair.
Round of applause. Yeah. They want everything to be strong. Someone over here?
We talked about the Filipino dive team that got 0 straight across.
What did they have?
0 straight across.
Oh, wow. That's really bad. Yeah, that's good drama.
The Filipino team got 0 straight across.
You're into it. What do you got?
I was talking about the dive.
Okay. Anything else?
Michael Phelps holds the record for most gold medals won, and by like a lot. He's up to 21 now? Yeah, 21.
21 gold.
I thought they took all those away because of the pot incident or something.
No, they'll never do that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know anything that's going on. So, obviously these were superficial topics for what we're doing, but this is kind of difficult because it's kind of like meta level stuff. I'm here talking about how you can increase discussion with your students. Think about it. What if I came here and just did PowerPoint and didn't even look at you in the eye? That'd be kind of funny. But I had a decision to make, and I was like, I want you to interact and just feel it, right? You're a human being. We communicate with each other. Who felt good during that? You talked to another person, made a friend, hopefully. Some of y'all aren't raising your hands. You're like, that sucked. This is the biggest waste of my time. It's like, just be polite already, all right? Okay. So students can share with one another to increase discussion in a class, and then they share with the group, and I just kind of came up with this, right? They're in it together. They're also building relationships in the class, which is what you should be doing. They should be knowing their classmates. They should be learning each other's names, your name, their names. Using pop culture is interesting because it's a little bit superficial and kind of tangential, but it's familiar to most people. There's a culture of being right. You can't be wrong about like Olympic drama. You can't be wrong, right? You just can't. So you get people feeling that right and that agreement. And it's fun and interesting and it's relevant, but what your goal is as a teacher, if you're teaching engineering or what's some other random thing you teach? Geology? Psychology? That's not random. Psychology is cool. Geology? No, I'm just joking. What did you say? Physics? Chemistry, yeah, that's not cool, but you can use stuff that's cool to make it cool. So what you do is you take stuff they're familiar with, something they're not familiar with, right? And so I'm showing you that using pop culture, having students interact with each other is a good way to increase participation. And it kind of sounds crazy. I'm here telling you about this stuff. You already know this, but for some reason you don't do it, or you may not do it, or you're not conscious of it, and you get stuck in this trap of PowerPoint or that one-way lecturing to them, trying to give them information. That's not communication. So I want you to remember that for real, though. Information, not communication. You can really use it when someone tries to blame you for miscommunication. And they say, well, we gave you that in the handbook. Let's not use the handbook example. We gave you that when you did X, Y, or Z. And then you can always kind of be really stubborn. And you can be like, hey, yeah, that's just information, though. Like, you didn't really convey it to me. Don't do it with your significant other in a fight, though. Because you'll win, and then ultimately you'll lose. And it's like a lose-lose situation. You don't want that. So remember that, though. So let's brainstorm together as a group. What are some tactics and behaviors as instructors that we can use to increase? Am I reading the right slide? Yeah. Discussion in our classes. What do you think? Let's just throw it out. Raise your hand so it's not so chaotic, and I'll just point at you. Yes?
People love talking about themselves, so eliciting anecdote via personal experience.
So get them talking using personal stuff, and then hopefully transition to something important, or just always just talk about them and never teach. It's pretty much what I do. Ask my students. What else? You have a mustache. I have a mustache. We're friends automatically. Right? Don't start task-oriented. Start on the personal level. When you start class, start as human to human, and then try to transition into the task. Don't just be like, well, last time we left off. I've had instructors do that. You've had instructors do that. You probably just assume that that's the way things should be done, but you can break it and change it. Ask how their day was. You're giving me that nonverbal interest. You're turned to me. You're looking at me. You got nothing? Brainstorm. You can't be wrong. Hey, grow a mustache. They will talk in class more. What else you got? That's it? 3 things? Oh, okay. Go.
Have them come to class with things. Like make them email you with an interesting question or something like that. Make that an assignment.
Start the discussion before class. I like that. Yes, have a culture of just sharing and not necessarily like facts. Who said facts? No, well, no. Yeah, like a culture. Yeah, I know. Culture, I'll never forget, though. Culture of being right. I'm like, no, not facts. That was like, I started this whole thing. He said fact. I'm like, no, that's information. That's not communication. Right? It's hard, right, because you want people to kind of get into it. But I was in a graduate course during my PhD where a professor did it so much that a student in class called him out, and the student said to him, I feel like I can never be right. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to be here right now. Someone's making an F for a comment in class, but that happens in classes, right? Are y'all done? Okay. Okay, I asked 3 PhD students who are, 2 are in their last year and 1 is in her second year, and I asked them, because I was doing this, and I wanted them to do my work for me, and I said, give me some anecdotes. What do you do? And they said, wait. As a new instructor, you want to talk. You don't like silence. They said, wait and use silence to your benefit to get people to discuss. Warning them up front about class discussions. So tell them that next time we're going to have a class discussion about a topic and they can be thinking about it in advance so they don't feel like they don't know anything. You've kind of primed them or inoculated them a little bit about what's coming. Talk about pop culture. We already went over that, but they said the same thing. Ask the right questions, not too broad. Use problem-solution formats. Questions that have no wrong answer. Depends on what you're doing. In chemistry, are there questions without a wrong answer in chemistry? Quantum mechanics, no one knows nothing. They're just like hanging out. Just like being smart. Okay, learn your students' names. I'm like terrible at remembering anything that has a word in it and student names is involved. I'm really bad at it, but I've gotten better because I want to be better. So if you want to be good at learning students' names, you will. Find ways to do it. Have them say their name. Make them wear tags. Zachary. Make them put it on their thing. Whatever, right? But like figure out a way to do it. One of my friends has them print a picture and put their name on it because your photo roster, you can't tell who's who. I'm not joking, at UA, a female with a male's photo, and it was not like a gender, sexuality, it was just wrong. And I told her about it. She's like, yeah, I love it because it confused the hell out of my instructors. I said, that's mean. It messed me up so bad that at the end of the semester, I had so much free time as a professor, I don't really do anything. I had to call the ID office, and then they thought like, no, maybe it's like a gender thing, identity. And I said, no. I've talked to the student. She does it as like a prank. They changed it. I told the student next time I saw her in the hallway, she was mad at me. 10 minutes? You're giving me a 10-minute warning? Yeah, I know. I only have like 3 minutes of stuff, so it's fine. All right, so my friend doesn't use the photo roster for that reason, and then they print out their own little picture, and then they write their name. But just a little warning, I did it one time, and a student had like her like on a rock photo, and I was all creeped out, and I had to like put it away. And then I finally, I got to ask what's up with the photos because they get weird. And then it was like, oh, that was my prom photo or whatever. I was like, that's a little bit much for a high school senior. But you know what I'm saying. So you got to be careful with the photos. Maybe give them rules. You know, they got to have, they can't, got to have a shirt that's to the neck or something. But I could go on about learning students' names forever. Learn your students' names. Who's really bad at learning names? Okay, check this out. Here's a trick. My parents are deaf and I know sign language. That's another story. But finger spelling's easy, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You could learn it in 1 hour. Your brain will do cool stuff and you'll feel proud of yourself. You can communicate with someone a little bit better. Learn the finger spelling alphabet and finger spell names behind your back. And it creates another neuron connection in your head. I'm just saying, thank me later. Do it. Build trust. Share things about yourself. My parents are deaf, right? People are always they would call me, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, they're deaf. And they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll call back later. I'm like, okay. Yeah, well, they'll still be deaf. And then they always think I said death, and then they give this long apology like my parents are dead. And I'm like, no, they're deaf. Weird. Okay, it's obvious. Put students into groups and have them form group identities. I really love doing it with gun control and stuff. I'm from Texas originally, so I'm comfortable talking about guns. When I went to New York to do my PhD, it was the best thing I ever did is make them fight about gun control because one student was over here for guns and everyone else was anti-gun, and then they would never talk to that student ever again. So in Alabama, you'll get a 50-50 divide because you'll have the out-of-state students anti-gun and then the in-state students, right? But you'll have balance. This is a way to get your students to participate. Use technology. I don't really do it. Someone told me about twitterfall.com. Anyone heard of that? It's in class, they're tweeting, and it's anonymous and stuff. And so that would work, right? Some students aren't as comfortable talking out in front of others. So it'd be a good way to share ideas and let those students feel like they're participating in discussion. Okay, so I've given you your brainstorm. You came up with 3 really awesome ideas. And then I said, here's some PhD students doing some stuff. I know I went through it kind of quick. By the way, you can email me and I can send these to you if you need this stuff when you forget tomorrow. Published research study in 2005 in communication education. These people set out to figure out how you could increase participation, and this is what they found. They said, require graded participation. I hate that, but I love cold calling on students. One person in that article said that they put it in their syllabus that you will be cold called in class, so at least the students can drop the class if they don't want to talk. I do it. I cold call on students. They know it. It's kind of a requirement. If you're in my class, you're going to get called on. Every class. Yes? It means that you didn't raise your hand and I called on you. So you wanted to talk to me right now, but I could just call on someone and then make them answer a question and then make them wrong, and then I'd be that professor. But you could cold call in a way that's productive and supportive. So cold calling on students will make them participate, and they'll learn that there's a class culture, that they're responsible for information and participating. Affirm, incorporate, and respond to students' ideas. So what this means is you acknowledge their existence verbally and non-verbally, right? You say thank you, you smile. You incorporate and respond, so when they give a comment, you don't just go tangential and then start talking about what you want to talk to, and you also use their own experiences to talk about course lessons, right? What they've done and how that relates to mechanical engineering or chemistry, which is nothing. Joking. Okay, let's see if I can get these to work. This is how you can, in student courage, you can encourage your students. When they say something in class, do that. Okay, but I'm going to show you a couple don't do's. Don't do this. He's all, woo, that was a good one. Don't do that either. You want to be this guy. Someone was genuinely laughing at that. I love that. How much time do I have? All right, I'm good. Okay. So let's back up because that was distracting. Require grade participation. I don't do that, but I do cold calls, so still fitting in there. Affirm and incorporate. I definitely do that. Nod heads, smile, say what they do, use their ideas, figure out what they did for a living, what they do part-time. Active facilitation. So don't just let students discuss just freely. Make a debate. Control it. Keep track of it. Challenge people when they say something. Make it go further. I used to have, speaking of affirming, I wanted to say this. I had a professor in college that if you started talking and you weren't quite there, he would do this thing like this. And it would creep me out so bad. And I was like, please never do that to me. And one day he did it, and I got all red and embarrassed, and I was like, he did it to me. But he scarred me for life. But the point is, he was into it. He's like, get those ideas out. So if someone, please do that. And then email me and let me know how it feels. Challenge and probe. Control the classroom terrorists. This wasn't in the article. They said control people who are dominating. But classroom terrorists was in my graduate level class, and I was fascinated with this idea. One, I was probably a classroom terrorist when I was an undergrad, I was that guy. But you will have a classroom terrorist. Please use this term. You know what a classroom terrorist is. Ask effective and clear questions. I'll let you figure that out in your own time, how you do that in your discipline with the material that you're doing. But make sure the students understand what you're even asking of them and what you expect in those discussions. But you got to be supportive, right? That's the thing. Encourage, be patient, develop trust, and here's my wrap up. My suggestions, if you remember nothing else, what did I say about information? Someone give it to me. Information is not communication. That was super enthusiastic. I appreciate that. Thank you. Teach like a champion. Some of you know this already. This is the City of Champions. We happen to have the #1 football team. It has nothing to do with us as individuals, but we act like it does. I love that, right? We're so into it. We'll kill people over it. Don't just transfer information, share knowledge and your experiences, but let them share, right? I tell my students, I have a PhD, I go in there and I say, I'm probably going to learn more from you than you are from me. And they're like, this is scary. And I'm like, yes. And then I never teach them anything. It's awesome, right? I let them teach me everything. That's the way you need to be. You have that mindset. You can still learn. You don't know everything. There's two types of grad students. There's graduate students that already know everything, and there's graduate students that know nothing and are insecure. Be the insecure one that knows nothing. If you know everything, you're just an asshole. No one wants to talk to you. Y'all know people like that, yeah. Okay, last thing, be mindful and be your own best critic. Don't beat yourself up. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to be hard. You're going to realize you're not encouraging discussion. You're shutting people down, whatever. That's okay. Be mindful of what you're doing. Always be looking into a mirror. Be positive with yourself, bring yourself up, keep doing it and keep improving. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I always give myself constructive criticism. You need to keep doing that also, but the thing that helps me the most is what did I think when I was an undergrad? What did I hate and what did I like about my professors? And I try to emulate that. So hopefully you're a normal person, like your students, and this will go well for you. So thank you for your time. Good luck this semester.